This is Dr. Vibha Tiwari, Assistant Professor of English, Chaudhary Balluram Godara, Government Girls College, Sriganganagar. Today, I am going to take up the poem Locksley Hall by the great Victorian poet Alfred Lord Tennyson for explanation. Students, in my previous video in which I had dealt with the poem The Lady of Shalott, there I had discussed in detail about the great poet Tennyson. So today I'm going to take up directly the poem itself. Let's have little bit about the background of the poem. This poem was written in 1835 and was published in 1842 in a volume of poems, and the title of that volume was also Poems. This poem is actually a dramatic monologue. Now, before I go further, let me tell you people what a dramatic monologue is. See, monologue stands for the speech of a single person, and when this word dramatic gets attached to it, dramatic monologue means the speech of a single person where there is character revelation, not only of the speaker, not only of the subject on which the speaker is speaking, but also the speaker's own character gets revealed through his speech. There are listeners who listen to whatever the speaker is saying, but they don't interfere in the speech. Such a monologue is called dramatic monologue, and this is a particular style. One of the great Victorian poets, Robert Browning, is regarded as the master of dramatic monologues. So this poem by Tennyson is also a dramatic monologue. This poem has been told from the first person perspective by an unnamed narrator. And in this poem, the narrator reflects on his childhood love, and he also contemplates the nature of change and progress in modern society. Throughout the poem, the narrator appears to be in great pain for his rejection in love. Now let's take up the original text. Comrades, leave me here a little, while as yet it is early morn. Leave me here, and when you want me, sound upon the bugle horn. Now, the very opening lines suggest that the speaker is perhaps in a company, and it appears as if the word comrade has been used. Perhaps he is a soldier. So he tells his fellow soldiers to leave him at that particular place where they are at present. He wants them to leave him for a little while on that particular spot. And he also says, whenever they want him back, they have just to blow the bugle. So perhaps the place is having a great importance for him. We later come to know that the place was actually Locksley Hall, where the narrator had spent his childhood days. And he's getting nostalgic here. That's why he wants to be at that place for some more time. And he requests his fellow soldiers to leave him at that place for a little while. He also says that as I told you earlier, that he tells them that whenever his fellows want him to be back, they have just to blow the bugle. It's a place, and all around it, as of old, the curlew's call, dreary gleams above the moorland, flying over Locksley Hall. He says it appears to the narrator as if nothing has changed in the place. It is still the same. The very spot where he is at present and the surrounding area is as it was there in his childhood. He could hear the voice of the curlews. Curlews a bird, so he could listen to the voice of curlews even. And the gloominess and the darkness which is spreading, which was all spreading all around the moor land, which was covering that area. It was also like that in his childhood. Locksley Hall, that in the distance overlooks the sandy tracts. Now he gives us an impression about the place where the place is actually located. He says that Locksley Hall is located in such a way that it is overlooking the sandy tract, or you can say the passage which is all covered with sand is being, this place is just opposite to that. And the hollow ocean ridges roaring into cataracts. And there are hollow ocean ridges where the sound of cataracts gets echoed. Many a night from yonder ivied casement, ere I went to rest, did I look on great Orion sloping slowly to the west. Now the poet remembers, narrator remembers one of the, you can say, incidents from his childhood. He quotes one thing that was oft done by him in his childhood. And it was that before going to sleep at night, in his childhood, he used to look outside the window of his room and he used to gaze at the sky. And in the sky, he used to watch the great Orion. Orion is a constellation. So he used to watch that constellation through the window of his room. And he could see it sloping towards the west, setting towards the west. So it was his habit to look outside the window at the time of night. And when he used to look outside the window, he used to see this constellation going westward. This was his habit. So perhaps he is getting nostalgic while visiting that place. It's human tendency. Whenever we happen to visit a place which is associated with our childhood memories, we all start to remember particular incidents related to that place. Same is happening with the narrator also. He is trying to remember those moments that he actually enjoyed over this place, on this place when he was here in his childhood. That's all for today. We are going to take up this poem further in my next video.